In the book, Return to Oneness, it is written, conflict is the gift, the experience, created by the belief in duality. And this belief arose when it seemed possible, in the mind that believed itself to be not God, that God could have an opposite. Yet the heart knows not of duality or opposites. It knows only the truth, that only God is real. But to the mind, opposites seem to exist, always offering a choice between two things. The heart recognizes there aren't any choices to make, for the heart knows only of love. If you are ready to experience the peace and joy that comes from opening your heart, then follow the blue butterfly. Welcome to a Return to Oneness, Lessons in Awakening. My name is Eddie, and I help people open their hearts. This series is 5 to Thrive. The video is titled, Opening Our Hearts. While the mind is lost in the deception of false beliefs, as well as living a false identity, the heart is not deceived, nor has it ever been. It is for this reason that the mind does not trust the heart, for the heart knows only of love, and the mind fears love. Although the mind seeks for love in the external, it refuses to turn within where love lives freely. But what exactly is the heart that is being discussed here? Is it the heart that serves to pump blood throughout the body, thereby keeping the body alive? Of course not. The heart being discussed here is simply the innermost core of our being. It is where the truth of ourself resides. But why do we not seem to know this self? The reason is truly a simple one. Although the reason rests upon nothing but denial, the denial of our true self, it has had far-reaching effects. We must never forget that denial is as total as is love. When we denied our true self, our spiritual mind and heart separated from each other. This denial, which is but the root cause in the belief of separation, left our minds wandering in a desolate wasteland, devoid of both light and love. However, our hearts have remained untouched from the darkness that has blanketed our minds. In addition, we have lost sight of our true self because of obstacles which stand between our minds and our hearts. And these obstacles have served nothing but to keep us in darkness, out of the light of the self, created as an extension of the great light and life of the source of all that is. While there seems to be 1,000 forms of obstacles, and yet 1,000 more after that, there is only one. What is this obstacle from which all others arise? It is but fear. Yes, fear is the obstacle which has blinded us to the love for which we are. Thus we cannot see the light of love, which is all around us, because of the fear that lives within us. And the fear held within our minds blinds us to the very truth of our being. Here is the good news. Fear is not real. It arose simply from the denial of our true self, from the denial of the love for which we are in truth. Now we can use our creation, denial, to deny the fear that blocks our inner light, our inner radiance, which is but the light and radiance of God Himself. In other words, the time has come for us to deny our denial of truth. Fear has no power of its own. It only has the power we give it. However, within our hearts is found the light of our being. But in order to experience this light, we must remove the obstacles which have walled off our hearts. Once we remove the obstacles, our hearts will be opened naturally. Our hearts will bloom much like a rosebud opening to the sun on a warm spring day. Let this be the moment, the time in which we deny fear, as well as all of the forms fear takes, like guilt, shame, sacrifice, loss, anger, and depression, just to name a few. Let this be the day in which our hearts speak to us of the truth of ourself, for our hearts know who and what we are. Our minds cannot comprehend the light that lives within our hearts. For as it is written in the Bible, "And the light shineth in the darkness, but the darkness comprehended it not." The time has come for us to open our hearts and to allow the light within it to shine forth into the world. The light will dissolve the fear held within our minds, and when the fear is gone, our minds and hearts will unite and become one. And in this joining, the lion, our minds, will lie down with the lamb, which is but the innocence of our hearts. Then we will know heaven once again, for we will know and experience peace and joy. We will have returned home. The long nightmare of fear and darkness will have passed away as they return to the nothingness from which they seemed to arise. Thank you for watching and listening to this video. Remember, you are loved, and you are that love. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more, then please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons below.